Alright, so let's do a quick roll call and we'll get started. So we have Gitesh, Sanvi, Sandhi and Suleen, and then we have, it's not Suleen, it's Celine, right? Okay, Sanvi and Celine, okay. And then we have Asundara. So Sanvi, this is your first class, so there are a couple of things that I wanted you to be aware of. Hello Rania. So in this class, when I'm teaching, I request the kids to keep their videos on, because when I make eye contact with you guys, I can understand whether you are able to follow whatever I'm explaining or not. Because by reading your face, I can make out whether I'm doing a okay job or a bad job. That is one. And second thing is, you don't have to. None of the kids have to be busy taking notes, because whatever we are doing, that is getting recorded here on a video. And that gets uploaded on YouTube only for you guys, not for anything else. So that you can use this video for revising what we learned, whatever we learned in the class. That way, you are freed up from the stress of taking notes, and you can put your entire energy in understanding the concepts and arguing with me if there's something that is not clear. Okay. All right. With that being said, let's start. So, what are the things that we wanted to learn today? Okay, good to see you, Hanvi. Alright, so Hiranya is also here. So let me quickly read through what are the things that we were planning to cover. So, the main things that, we started with the unit, the first unit of this level, which is for 6th to 8th grade. And we started with ratios. We talked about ratios and our understanding of ratios. In today's class, we will talk about ratio and double number lines, and how do we relate to that. What is the understanding of equivalent ratios? And then we look at some of the word problems, because the concepts you would probably know already, but how do we apply that while solving problems is what will be our objective. Now some of you might be thinking that, okay, I have already learned this in the previous grade, why do I have to talk about ratio again? Don't worry about it. We have just started the syllabus from yesterday, and that syllabus covers the things that we need to learn as part of 6th, 7th and 8th grade. So even if you see some of the things that we already know, it's just a matter of time. Within few weeks, few months, you will see that, okay, you are learning something that will come in the grade even next year. So don't get restless if you learn something or if you come across something that is known to you. Okay? It could be a recap of what you already know, and then we'll apply those learnings for learning more things in the coming classes. Is that okay? Was that a lot of information? Okay. So let's start with what we want to cover quickly. So we want to start with some word problems, okay, relating to ratio, and see how clear are we with the concepts, or how comfortable are we applying those concepts while solving word problems. Is that okay? So let me read the questions for you. Mara, can you close the garage door? I don't think Gayatri is coming today. Yeah. So I'm reading the first problem, and we'll try solving that following my most favorite or most hated concept. It's a concept that we have derived for ourselves in this class. We call it RAG. Okay? Meaning every problem, read it multiple times, then analyze, and then N, which stands for Nike. Just do it. So don't try, as soon as you come across a problem, don't try solving it. Read the question a couple of times, analyze, put your thoughts together, and then you try solving it. Okay? That's the mantra that we follow here. So I'm starting with the first problem. It says Yoda soda is the intergalactic party drink. I don't know what intergalactic means, but it says Yoda soda is the intergalactic party drink that will have all your friends saying, good, this is. This is a question, okay, I'm not taking it up. You are throwing a party and you need 5 liters of Yoda soda for every 12 guests. If you have 36 guests, how many liters of Yoda soda do you need? So now, there is some interesting part of the question which I will not read, okay, because that makes me look funny. But let me read it one more time. Yoda soda is an intergalactic party drink that will have all your friends saying, this is good. You are throwing a party and you need 5 liters of Yoda soda for every 12 guests. 5 liters for every 12 guests. If you have 36 guests, how many liters of Yoda soda do you need? So this is a ratio related problem, a word problem. Yes, Kiara. So I'm not even going there yet. I am still stuck on the first stage where I am reading the question, right? I am trying to get you guys used to this habit of reading the question a couple of times, then you put your thoughts and then the answer, okay? Because you guys will realize one thing and you will not like me for that is, I keep making one statement saying I don't care about the answer. Sad but true. Yeah? Gitesh has heard it so many times from me, right Gitesh? I don't care about the answer. It's not that I don't care. What I'm trying to convey to you all is, answer is a byproduct of what we know. So, anyways, the answer will be right if the approach is right. So, let me focus on the approach. So, I'm reading the question for one last time. And then, Yoda soda is a galactic party drink that will have all your friends saying it's good. You are throwing a party and you need 5 liters of Yoda soda for every 12 guests. 5 liters for every 12 guests. If you have 36 guests, how many liters of Yoda soda do you need? So this is the question. What did you guys see? I read it so many times that there is no doubt. Right, Sanvi? Yep. I'm trying to bore you guys with reading the question again and again. Because if you read so many times, the question looks easier. Even if I don't know the meaning of intergalactic drink, I don't know what does it mean. Drink I know, intergalactic I don't know. Anyway. So I read the question a couple of times and then we have the analysis phase. So this is where I want to hear Kiara. Not the answer, but what did you think about it when you were trying to solve this problem?
Well, you said there were 36 guests and I wrote down 5 people, 12 guests, so then I just like divided and I got 3.
You got 3? Okay, tell me how many liters of Yoda soda do you need or would you need? I'm sorry?
3 liters.
3 liters?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Gitesh has to say.
I think it's 50 liters.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Sundara, what is your answer?
I was going to say 15 too.
Okay. So, now I will, anybody else wants to say something? Sanvi, how about you, beta? What would be your answer if you have to say so? Which one would you lean towards? 15 or 3?
I think 15 too.
Okay. Yes, Chandran. 15. Celine also same? Okay. Now, again, let me poke a hole into everybody's brain to understand what was the thought process. So Kiara gave me her perspective. Now let's see what Gitesh has to say. If you got 15, what was the reason for that?
So basically, for guests, it's 5 liters. It gets at least 6, and we're going to get 1.3. So that I get 5 times 3.
Okay.
Like times, I noticed that like all of these times by 2, and it's times 3, I guess. And like 9, right.
Okay. Okay. And I have a very bad habit of making the kids fight. So Kiara, do you want to argue with Gitesh and tell me why your thoughts were different from Gitesh, or you think you could be right with your approach? And again, there is no bad intent here. My intention is to make you guys argue, agree, disagree to get to a perfect solution approach. Hiranya is staying away from all the problems, not giving 5 or 50, otherwise he'll have to fight with somebody. Okay, so now I'm not trying to prove anybody right or wrong. If I were one of you, I know I cannot be, it's pretty late for me. So Madam, let's say, if you have to explain me, why did you get 15? What was the thought process? I'm not worried about the answer part. Why?
So basically, first, I wrote down, since we needed 5 meters for 12 guests, I wrote that down as a very key component. And then if afterwards for 36 guests, and that meters would be for 36 people. So I found like a common number between 12 and 36, and I thought that if you multiply 12 by 3, you would get 36. So what I did was I multiplied 5 by 3 to get my answer, and so I multiplied 12 by 3.
Okay. Okay. So now let me give you guys my approach. And I'm a brand ambassador of this theory, right? RAN, brand. I'll keep sticking my whole narrative. I'll keep my narrative glued to this approach. Okay? I'm not saying whatever you guys did was right or wrong, but I'll go with this approach. Reading the question multiple times. I read the question now. I'm reading it one more time for myself. Again, based on whatever I retained when I was reading about it. Says Yoda soda is a great drink and all the friends would like it whenever you offer it to them. So they say, if you are wanting to throw a party, you would need 5 liters of Yoda soda for every 12 guests. For every 12 guests, you would need 5 liters of Yoda soda. Okay? How many liters of Yoda soda would you need when you are talking about 36 guests? For me, it is not a math problem. For me, it's an English problem. Most of the math problem, I treat them as English problem. So, I will write English for solving this problem. So, I need to find out how much I need for 36 guests. What I know is 5 liters needed for 12 guests. So, for 12 guests, I would need 5 liters of Yoda soda. Yeah? I'm just writing whatever I read. For 12 guests, I need 5 liters of Yoda soda. Okay. For 1 guest, how much I would need? More or less. If I need, for 12 guests, I need 5 liters. For 1 guest, how much I would need? More or less? Less. So less, how do I get less? By dividing, right? I had 1 apple, I divide among 3 kids, everybody gets less apple, right? Similarly, so 12 guests, for 12 guests I need 5 liters, for 1 guest I would need less soda. So 5 divided by 12. So 12 guests were getting 5 liters. 1 guest is getting, that 5 liters is divided on 12. So every guest gets that much, correct? This many liters. Yeah? Is everybody liking this English part of it? There is no math yet. 12 guests, 5 liters. 1 guest will take less, we would need less soda for 1 guest. So 1 guest would be this 5 liters divided among 12. So 5 by 12 means what every guest gets. Now we need how much for 36 guests. So whatever I need for 1, if I multiply that by 36, I will get the quantity needed for 36. If I multiply that by 40, I will get the quantity needed for 40. If I multiply that by 500, I will get the quantity needed for 500 guests. Is that okay? So I got how much quantity I need for 1 guest, which is 5 by 12. So how many I need for 36? Whatever is the value for 1, I need to multiply that by 36. And that's the calculation. So here, 5 by 12 into 36. I am doing now some tic-tac-toe. 36 I can write as 6 into 6. Okay? 12 I can write as 6 into 12. 6, this 6 tic-tac-toe. I have 5 to 6 by 2. Now this 6 also I can write as 3 into 2. And I have a 2 here. So this 2 and this 2 also tic-tac-toe. What do I have now? 50. Yeah? So, did I use any calculation technique? No. I did not. I just went, I took support from only English. Only thing I was careful about was, whatever is known, I am keeping on the right hand side. Sorry, whatever is not known, I am keeping on the right hand side. So I had to find out for 36 guests. What I had to find out? How many liters. So liter thing I kept on the right hand side. Whatever I had to find out, I kept on the right hand side. So 12 guests, 5 liters, 1 guest, 5 by 12 liters, 36 guests. But number of guests was known. What was not known was the amount of soda that we need. So I kept the liter thing on this side so that I can do the calculation that way. Boring concept, understandable. Kiara, Gitesh, Hiranya, Vasundhara, everybody clear? Yes, yes, Kiara. Okay. So, again, I will keep on repeating myself that whenever you are trying to solve a problem, make sure that you read the problem enough, put your thoughts, then you calculate it. You will see that it becomes more fun. Okay, let's pick up the next problem and see what is happening here. So before I try solving the next problem, I want to talk about ratio and double number lines. Ratios and double number lines. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you come across ratio and double number lines? What is that, Myra?
It's like when the ratio, like when the values in a ratio are depicted by number lines. There's like 2 values in one ratio and 2 number lines.
Okay. Anybody else? What do you mean by double number lines? Ratio and double number lines. When do we use them? Any practical, relatable example that you guys can think of? Sandri, Hiranya, Vasundhara, Kiara. Yes, Vitesh.
I've never actually heard of it, but
No, I'm not relying on Google. No, let's not do Google while we are learning in the class. Okay? If you have learned about it, wonderful. If not, I'll explain. That's okay. Anybody who has come across it before? Yes, Vasundhara, please go ahead.
I'm pretty sure it's just like a ratio, but with 2 number lines, there's like the one ratio and the other.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Kiara or Hiranya, Sandri. Sandri Nasleen.
I think this was a comparing, like, there's 2 ratios in a comparative.
Okay. You guys are pretty close to it, but let me put that in a much simpler form. So we are saying 2 number lines. Okay? These are 2 number lines. Let's say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. And here I have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm using a different scale. That's the only difference here. Okay. I'm just making sure that my 0 on both the number lines are coinciding, and every unit scale is also coinciding. Okay. More from an optics point of view. Now let me disclose the secret. This number line I am saying pound. 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pound, 5 pound. Okay. It's just a weighing scale. And on this number line, I am putting the price of cherries per pound. Price of cherries. Now you should relate this. 1 pound of cherry is $10. 2 pounds of cherries, $20. 3 pounds of cherries, $30. 4 pounds of cherries, $40. Now you can relate these two number lines. One number line is representing the cost, and this number line is representing the weight. And if I have to find out what is the price of 3.5 pounds of cherry, I will just draw a straight line and see where it hits. Oh, this is $1.35. Yeah, I mean, I have not talked about the ratio and number line. I am just talking about there are two number lines. On one number line I am representing the weight, and on this number line I am representing the cost of the cherries. Okay, and there is a direct correlation here. So every pound of the cherry is costing $10. That's what is represented by the combination of the number line that you see here. Is that clear so far? Now you will see that every point that coincides, every point that you take, the ratio is the same. Now you look at, let's say I am looking at 1 pound versus 10. Let's say if I am putting this as a numerator, 1 by 10. 1 pound is $10. If I pick up this point, let's say 2 pounds, $20. 2 pounds, $20. If I retain that in the form of a ratio, in the form of a fraction, what do I see? This is 3 pounds, $30. What do you see? Every value here, this is 1 by 10. This also becomes 2 into 1 by 2 into 10. Eventually 1 by 10. This also becomes 3 into 1 by 3 into 10. Eventually 1 by 10. So these two number lines, when you represent parallel to each other, making sure your units are coinciding, it represents that the ratios are same at each and every point that you pick up vertically. Okay? So it says when you have a pair of parallel lines, you can represent that for denoting the ratio. Any line that you pick up, this value and this value, the ratio of that would be same as any other point that you pick up. It's a situation of equivalent ratio. Now you will say, from where did the equivalent ratio come into picture? We have not even talked about it. We will talk about it. But for now, what I'm saying is, this two number line thing actually helps you find out matching ratio. Every point that you pick up vertically, you will find that represents the same value or same ratio regardless of how far or close you go from the point of origin. Okay, not okay. Confusing? And let's not worry about it. Why to worry about things that doesn't really matter to us? Unless we come across a problem that we have to solve relating to this. And that is what I will do on purpose, to make you guys come across a problem relating to this kind of a number line and see if you are able to apply this to solve it. I have a question for you guys. It says the number line shows that 5 pounds of avocado cost $9. Okay, so there are two number lines given here. I have a 0 here, I have a 0 here. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 and this one is $9. Okay, so the picture that you see, I mean in the question, that's what I've drawn. The double line shows that 5 pounds of avocado cost $9. Based on the ratio shown in the double number line, what is the cost of 1 pound of avocado? You are given 5 pounds of avocado cost $9. Based on this, what is the cost of 1 pound of avocado? And you have to find it from the number line. How would you do that? Now you have a pair of number line, that is what is coming to picture. What could be the possible answer for this one? Any guess? How much is that? $1.80. How did you find that?
So basically, since there's 5 cows that cost $9, I divided 9 by 5. Wait, I divided 9 by 5, and my answer was how much was
Okay. Anybody who got the answer for this one? I got one answer from Maya. I'm looking for more answers. Yes, it is.
I've got $1.80.
Okay. Sandvi, Rania, Vasundhara. Sandrine, Celine.
I got $1.80.
Okay. Fine. Anybody else? So again, these are the easy ones. Okay. It's more like a breather. We are not talking about complicated problems right now. We are just trying to wrap our head around what is ratio and what is the relevance of ratios in our day-to-day life. How do we interpret that? So here we are talking about a pair of number lines, and we are given these two values which say, okay, this number line represents the pounds, which is 5 pounds, and this number line represents the cost of avocado. So 5 pounds is $9. So the question is, how much is the cost of 1 pound of avocado? And how you can find out? You say, okay, fine, there are 5 lines that we see between 0 and 5. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. And what we know is, from here to here is 9, which is again divided into 5 per pound. That is what will tell me what is the price of cost of 1 pound versus 2 pounds versus 3 pounds versus 4 pounds versus 5 pounds. So 5 pounds is costing $9. So here to here, how much is the distance? Which will be equal to 9 divided by 5. Because this is how you are dividing it into 5 parts. So this will give you $1.8. If somebody says find out the value of the cost of avocado for 3 pounds, you are talking about this point, and you have to, since you found 1 is 1.8, multiply that by 3, and that is the cost of 3 pounds of avocado. Yeah. Now we have looked at ratios, 2 number lines, and all those things. And these are looking a little boring now. You guys are finding it way too easy for what you guys are already prepared for. Correct? Say yes or no? Find it very easy? Now let's look at something more interesting. So let's look at what do we mean by the next concept that I briefly touched upon, which is called equivalent ratio. What does it mean? What does an equivalent ratio mean actually? Any idea? Any guess? Yeah, it is.
When 2 ratios are equal.
Say that again.
When 2 ratios are equal.
So, see, there are 2 words. My origination of English is, my origin for math is actually English. I'll say, okay, fine. If I'm clear about the English part, then I can understand the math part of it. So, my question was, what is equivalent ratio? You said when the 2 ratios are same. When the 2 ratios are same, they are equal. Why we are even bothering about equivalent ratio? Now, see, I'm just making you guys think. I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm not saying that you are completely wrong. I'm just trying to make you think of the next step. Yeah. Sanvi, Vasundhara, Kiara. I totally understand what is equal ratio. If I have one ratio like 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is equal ratio. These two are matching, that's why they are equal. We are not talking about equal right now, we are talking about equivalent ratio. Who can explain that to me? Give me any right or wrong explanation, that's fine, perfectly fine. Hiranya, any thoughts? Kiara, any thoughts? Is everybody upset with me today? Nobody is responding to my questions. Hiranya ignored me, Kiara ignoring me, Sanvi also ignoring me. What's going on? Is it because I'm making you guys attend the class during the long weekend? Okay, no, that was just a wake-up call for many of you. I know you guys are very nice kids. But yeah, I'm just trying to understand. How would you put your thoughts around something? Yes, Vasundhara.
I think equivalent ratios are like they change at the same rate, and like they have like the same value, and like I guess like divided or simplified.
Yes. You are getting closer to what I was wanting to hear. So Gitesh, whatever you said, that was not wrong by any means. But I wanted a more explicit definition. Now let's look at this. If I say 1 by 2, 3 by 6, 4 by 8, 5 by 10, these are called equivalent ratios. Meaning their absolute value is same. Now look at 1 by 2. 1 by 2's absolute value in decimal is 0.5. 3 by 6 also will translate into 0.5. 4 by 8 will also translate into 0.5. 5 by 10 will also translate into 0.5. What's happening is, though the optics is different, the value that you see on the board is different. 1 by 2 is very different from 3 by 6 versus 4 by 8 optically. But the absolute value of these are same. And that is why they are called equivalent ratios. We will not say 1 by 2 and 3 by 6 as equal ratio, because ingredients are different. But the actual value, absolute value is same. So they are better termed as equivalent ratio. Does that make sense? So, now a very stupid question for everybody. If I have a ratio 3 by 8, how many equivalent ratios I can find for 3 by 8? How many? Any guess? Sanvi, this is your jump start question. This is your first class. I'm just trying to make you think. If I have a ratio 3 by 8, how many equivalent ratio of 3 by 8 I can find? Any guess? 3, you can find 3. And there is a prize for whoever finds maximum, okay? Let's see. Sandrine and Celine, how much? Sandrine and Celine, how many you can find?
3 over 8 is also equivalent to 6.5.
I'm not really interested in what are the equivalent ratios. I'm saying, I'm trying to understand how many equivalent ratio of a given ratio you can find, and whoever finds the maximum might qualify for getting a prize. But if you end up becoming the winner, you'll have to give me that many answers as well. Yeah, Gitesh.
There's an infinite number.
Infinite number of ratios. Okay. We'll come to you. Who else? Kiara, Hiranya, Vasundhara. Any guesses around the number of equivalent ratios you can find for 3 by 8? Mara? Okay. No guesses? Yep, Vasundhara, go ahead.
I agree with the infinite solutions because one ratio is equal like 6/18 is the same as 3/8.
Okay. Let's see what Sardine and Celine wants to say.
I actually also think that it's like, yeah.
Okay. Now, Gitesh, can you tell me what will be your approach for finding infinite number of solutions? Infinite number of equivalent ratios? Right. So eventually Gitesh is also the winner, and like Vasundhara and Mayra and Sandin, Celine and nobody else said infinite, right? Okay. So yes, any ratio that you have, you can find infinite number of equivalent ratios. Meaning, if you have 3 by 8, you can find another one by multiplying both by 2. You can multiply by 3. You can multiply by 9. You can multiply and divide by 10. And all these are equivalent ratios. Eventually what will happen is, you can always do, anytime you tic-tac-toe and you will end up being the same value. So if you have any fraction, any ratio given to you, you can find infinite number of equivalent ratios, because you can always multiply and divide by the same number, and you can use any number that you can think of or you can dream of. You can say 3 by 8, other equivalent ratio of that will be 100 million divided by 100 million. So 3 million by 8 million, 300 million by 800 million is another equivalent ratio, and you can just go as far as you can go with your imagination. Correct? So now you will say, why are we actually wasting so much time talking about ratio, equivalent ratio and all those things? Because this becomes your building block for the next topic that we are going to talk about, which is percentage. And I know you all know percentage, but percentage is the most tricky concept for all of us. Even if it's somebody like me who has left studies maybe 30 years ago, not 30 years, maybe 25 years ago. But the percentage is still with me. Every time there is a Thanksgiving, I end up dressing up my percentage concept. Every time there is a sale happening in a store, I end up dressing up my percentage concept. Okay? So let's look at how the equivalent ratio and percentage concepts are related. So I will go back to equivalent ratio again, but before that, let's double click on percentage. Is that okay? If I say percentage, I have a question for you guys. I have $500 and Celine has $800. I don't know what percentage of Celine's money is my money. Who can find it out for me? I have $500, Celine has $800, and I don't know my money is what percentage of Celine's money. Shanvi, any guess? Kiara, what happened today? You are very quiet today. Not talking at all. I'm sorry? Okay. Okay. So I want somebody to tell me I have $500 and Celine has 800. So I'm trying to find out if I have to give a story to somebody, say, okay, I have 80% of what Celine has. And I'm trying to find out what is that percentage. Yeah, how much is that?
28%.
No, I'm not saying 80% of what I have. I'm saying my money is what percentage of Celine's money?
62.5%.
Okay. Yep. Sandy and Celine want to tell me?
I got 72.5%.
72.5%. I heard 62.5% also is one of the options. Okay, what about you, Dipesh?
I got 62.5%.
Okay. So 2 votes for 62.5, 1 vote for 72.5. Let's see. What are the other options we have?
Oh wait, I actually got 62.5. I looked at the top.
Okay. 62.5. Yes, Kiara.
I got 62.5.
Okay. So now the surprise for you guys is I'm not really interested in the answer. Don't worry about it. I wanted to gauge that how comfortable you guys get whenever you come across a percentage problem. And I could see that everybody is able to give it a try and most of you got the same answer. So I'm assuming that Sanvi is also having similar comfort with respect to percentage. Is that a fair statement, Sanvi? Or percentage is something that troubles you sometimes? And be as candid as you can. That's okay.
Yeah, like I was on the
Okay. So here's the thing. Now, Gitesh, you can put your hand down. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So for me, math is nothing but an extension of English. If we know English, we can do math. That's how I think always. So now, when we talk about percentage, let's do a double click on that. Percentage per cent. That's how. If I'm saying percent, 10%. What do I mean is 10%. I'm just breaking it down. And I might be sounding very stupid if I break down, but that's okay. 10%. I did not use the mathematical term. I'm using English here. 10%. And cent is nothing but a short form of century. And century is nothing but 100. If anybody is following IPL, whenever somebody hears century, you know that somebody scored 100 runs. Right? So 10% is, or 20%, what would it be, the number? It says per 100 that many. Now, if I say, I'll give you guys 10% of my salary. If I ever dare to say so, which I will not, but I'm still saying, that if I say, I'll give you guys 10% of my salary, what am I saying actually? I'm saying 10% of my salary. What I mean by that is, if my salary was 100, 10%, 10 per 100, meaning every 100 that I make, I'll give you 10. 10 per 100. That's what I mean. If whatever money I make, I'll give you 10 per 100. For every $100 note, I'll give you $10. Meaning, if my boss gives me 500, I mean, if my employer, not my boss, if my employer gives me $500, meaning I'm getting $500 note as my salary. So for every $100, I'll give you 10 per. For every $100, I'll give you 10. That's what I mean by 10 per 100 or 10%. So since I'm getting 500, so 5 into 10. For every 100, I'm getting 10. So I'm getting 500, so 5 into 10 is what I'm promising to give somebody. Right? So percent is per 100. That's how I will relate. Now let's say I said I'll give 10%. Meaning for every 100 I will give 10. If I am getting $200, How much I am promising? Okay, let's not go that far. If I am getting 100, I will give you 10. That's what I promised. If I am getting $1, how much I will give? If I get $100, I will give 10. My promise is 10%. Okay. If I am making $100, I will give $10. If I am getting $1, how much will I give? Any guesses? Celine, you are talking to the mute button. Tell me better. Okay. So it's a question for you guys. I am giving you a very simple scenario. I am saying that I will give 10% of my salary. Okay, I'll complete this. Let me complete. So what I mean by that is 10%. I'm going by the English. I don't know about math at all. So 10% means 10 per 100. Meaning if I'm getting 100, I'll give you 10. My question is, if I'm getting $1, how much will I give? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yes, Gitesh, now you can tell me.
Actually, I'm going to check myself.
Okay. I'm sorry? You're checking yourself? Okay. Myra, how much will I give? Don't give me absolute answers. Tell me how much is that? Without calculating it. 10% I said, meaning when I'm giving $100, I will give you 10. That's what I mean. For $1, how much will I give? Just tell me the calculation part. No, without calculating. How much is that? 10 divided by 100. That's what you're saying, right? Don't calculate from here. Okay, I'm saying. Yeah, it is. Is this what I'm talking about? I'm sorry? Don't see. That's where I stop you guys, right? Don't calculate. I'm not clear. I'm not interested in the answer actually. I got one answer in the classroom saying 10 cents. I don't care about 10 cents. What if I'm making my salary in euro? So, it's very simple. Concept-wise, if I'm getting 100, I'll give 10. If I'm getting 1, I will give 10 by 100. Now, whether that translates to 0.1 or 0.4 or 0.9, I don't really care about it. Okay? I'm not interested in that calculation right now. Is this part fine? Yeah? So, 10% meaning 10 per 100. Meaning, if I am getting 100, I will give 10. That's what I am promising. So, if I am getting 1, how much will I give? 10 divided by 100, right? If 100 people are eating 10 bananas, 1% will eat 10 by 100, right? So, same thing here. Now, if I am getting 2000, how much I will give? Whatever I am giving for 1 times 2000, right? If I am making 50,000, that is far-fetched, but still, how much will I give? Whatever is the value for 1, multiply by 50,000, right? Yeah? And I am sure everybody is praying for me to make 50,000 so that I can give 10% of that. That will be a lot of money, right? So, here, now look at this, what is happening here. Any percentage means that many and out of 100. And when you look at this, what happened? This was my percentage 10. 100 came below. And then this is the number for which I was trying to find out the percentage. So this became our formula. Again, if you don't care about this formula, let's speak it English again. If somebody says, I'll give you 20% of my salary. 20% of my salary. Or 20% of my salary. Let's say my salary is $30. This is what I'm talking about. So this becomes a formula. Just by knowing the English part of it, if you have a number, let's say number x, and you have to find out y% of that. So x, y% of x. This is how you calculate percentage of any given number. So this percentage calculation is purely English, nothing more. So if now let's forget about all this I am doing right on the board. If I say find out how much is 20% of 9,000, how will you calculate without knowing the formula? Find out what is 20% of 9,000. Who can calculate real quick or how? %20 of 9,000, how will you calculate? You need to memorize any formula or you will use English for doing it? Just get this. Okay. 20% of 9,000. I want to know who is giving me 20% of his salary, which is 9,000. Yes, Sandra.
Did you say
9,000, yeah.
Oh.
Sandri, Kiara, Hiranya, Vasundhara, and Myra. Yes, Sandri.
So I put 20 over 100 because 20 is the first square and 100 is the cent. So
Yep.
yeah.
I'm loving it. You are using English for solving this, right? You exactly said the same way I had said 2 minutes ago. 20% of 9,000. There is no formula that you have to remember. Yeah, Gitesh. Is this what it will come to? And once you have the C, what I see for most of the kids, when I ask them to solve the problem, they will calculate this and say, okay, this is 95.2. Whatever it be, I am not really interested in this part of the story. I don't really care about it. Because I know everybody can calculate. I am interested in knowing how do we arrive at this. See, this is Sandhya's first class, and I just said something, and she was, even if she has turned off her video, she was exactly following what I was saying. She told me my story in the same way, saying 20% of the number. As long as you have, once you have this one, then you can play with this. You will do tic-tac-toe, you will do whatever you want to do. Let's do tic-tac-toe. I have 20, I can write this as 2 into 10. And 9,000 I can write as 9 into 1,000. Divide by 100 I can write as 10 into 10. Okay. This 10 and this 10 I can do tic-tac-toe. What are that with? 2 into 9 into 10,000. Again this 1,000 I can write as 100 into 10. And below I have 10. This 10 and this 10 I can do tic-tac-toe. What are left with? 2 into 9 is 10. So 2 into 9 is 18 into 10. I will just put a 0. That. Yeah? Yep. Thank you. That means you are not sleeping, you are awake. Good job. See, I was about to cheat somebody by giving less. And this is very normal. This can happen to anybody. Okay? You can just have an oversight and you can miss 1 0, and that you can fix if you are being vigilant or if you do review of what you did. Okay? So what I am saying is that if you have to calculate something, if you have to find out a value of something, you have to first understand what is your approach, how you are building up that thing, and then calculation is easy peasy. Okay? Now let me get you guys confused with one problem, and then I'll let you guys go. So now hear me out. Okay, I'm making up one question on the fly. I promised my friend to give 20% of my weekly income. I repeat, I promised my friend to give 20% of my weekly income in 1 week, in a given week. In that week, I made $500 on first day, okay, $700 on second day, $150 on third day, $200 on fourth day, and another $500 on fifth day. I'm assuming everybody is written down there because I don't know. I have no reference. I'm just making it up on the fly. And I gave $200 to my friend by end of the week. How much money did I cheated for? Yeah, Gitesh, you're saying something. Talk to the mute button right now. Yeah. So, okay, tell me how much money I gave every day. Day 1 was how much, Myra? $500. Day 2 was how much? $700. Day 3 was how much? $100. Day 4 was how much? $200. Day 5 was how much? $500. Okay. And then I gave only $200 to my friend. And when I had promised that I'll give 20% of my earning for that week, how much did I cheat my friend for? Did everybody get the question here? Vasundhara, Hiranya, Kiara and Sanvi. Everybody got the question, right? Yes, Sanvi, you're saying something like that. Not Sanvi, Kiara. Yep. Okay. So, in the beginning of the week, I promised my friend that I will give 20% of whatever money I make in that week. On first day, I made $500. Second day, I made $700. Third day, I made $150. Fourth day, I made $200. And fifth day, I made $500. And Saturday, Sunday, I was not working, so I was not making money. So, after 1 week, I gave only $200 to my friend. Did I cheat my friend? And if I did, how much I cheated him for?
You cheated him for $210.
How much?
$210.
Okay. So that means I gave him this much less. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Gitesh.
You were supposed to get $410, but you gave
Okay. Don't be shy if you have to say your teacher cheated somebody for $210. That's okay. And it's a natural thing, right? I mean, I might get greedy on a given day. I'll say, okay, fine. Even if I promise something, I'll not give that much. And that's okay. That's normal. I mean, that's not okay as a human being. I'm saying that situation is possible. Sanvi, Kiara, Hiranya and Vasundhara. Yes, Kiara. Okay. Sanvi, Celine. 210.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And you guys are shy saying, sir, you cheated your friend for $210. You're not saying that. Everybody is shy of saying the teacher. Okay. Yeah, Kiara, you're saying something or that was it? Yeah. Sanvi, any different response? Okay, you got the same answer. Vasundhara, same answer. Okay, so we already basically over time for by a couple of minutes, so we'll wrap it up. Well, yeah, 5 minutes. So same thing. Whenever I have a question like this, again, there's nothing different, and I think everybody got the same answer. I'm assuming everybody was right, but like the way Kiara explained, that the question said these are the things that I earned. So adding them together, 5 plus 5, 1,000, 1,700 plus 1,900, 2,000, 2,050. And then 20% is what I promised, which will be 1/5 of this, which is $410. I was supposed to give this much, I gave only this much. So subtract that, that's the amount that I cheated for. So there is nothing complex about this problem. I will give you guys some problems, some assignments, relating to the percentage and the ratio stuff. It will be an easy ride for sure, because these are the concepts that you guys have probably learned. And we are right now, we are starting with 6th grade, so that's why you will probably find some of you who have already passed 6th grade or have come across these concepts before. You will find that an easy ride. Don't think that I am bringing the level down. What I am doing is I am starting the second iteration of the entire thing. That means there will be a lot of concepts that you guys will be knowing, and it will be an easy ride. Enjoy that easy ride, because when it comes to a little complex side of things, you will find interesting problems as well to deal with. I will try to find out some interesting little twisted problems, so that even if you know percentage in and out, at least you are able to kind of break your head with some interesting problems and decode those questions to solve it, in a more effective way, right? Because even if percentage is something that is taught in 6th grade, you will find percentage problems coming to you even in SAT exam. So it doesn't hurt even if it's an easy question, okay, or easy topic. Just Gitesh, saying something?